Just go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the power. Screw Green Bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it, is the people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way, with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head! No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze run.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my lovely co-pilots. I've got Mr. Green Bean to my this way. I got Mr. Matt O'Leary to my that way. Matt, you got a nice new looking backdrop over there. Matt, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very good. Since the last time we spoke, I packed up my whole life and moved into a new house. So not fully 100% where I want to be. Like, the lighting is really bothering me right now, but we are going to have upgrades of little by little here as we finalize the move in and get settled in. But yes, new studio, it's coming along.
Green Bean, how you doing, dude?
Well, I am riddled with envy because of that helmet right there. I feel underdressed. I felt really good about wearing my Rodgers Wilson shirt. I felt good. Now I'm like, oh, yeah, I needed to do better than this. So I'm excited, man. It's been a long time. I haven't done a damn thing Jets related, Green Bean related since the end of May. So I've been looking forward to this. I'm excited to learn what's going on. Egypt, Reddick. We got all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. I'm in a good mood.
We've got so much to get into. So much there. Got Ron Weiss joining in. First super chat of the season. Ron, thank you so much. With that $20 super chat, Matt, can you make a poll question? Because we get to freeze one of the three of us, and the chat gets to decide. Looking forward to getting into this. Boys and girls, this is like, I've had a fun offseason because I haven't been making a whole lot of content either. It's been a lot of, I got a new job that is still within the same company I worked with, just new role within the company. So it's trying to figure out all the inner workings of that role while also like trying to balance having two kids. We just got our neighbor's swing set. They were throwing out a swing set. They're like, hey, we're going to put this on Facebook Marketplace. So do you guys just want it? So I called my other neighbor up. We chopped it into 3 spots, put it back on my property. I power washed it. I built a nice wooden roof for it. I still got to paint it. So I'll show you guys the before and after pictures probably next week. But it's been fun.
Great.
Been
like that.
We're going to be going to training camp. I know Matt's going. Matt, are you Tuesday next week?
Yes. So a week from today, I will be at training camp for anyone who is going to be in attendance. Very excited to get down there and very excited that practices start tomorrow. It almost doesn't feel real. Like, we've been waiting so long for this. Like, it hasn't really hit me yet. Maybe when I see the guys run out tomorrow in the pads, I'll start to be like, okay, yeah, football's actually back. But I don't know. It hasn't sunk in for me yet.
Yeah, it hasn't quite hit that it's like football season. Like, starting to see some of the interviews today, I think, and like the players walking in was like, all right, there's a little bit of foreplay, but I want it right now. Give it to me. I have oh great, that's gonna get clipped out of context, and that's fine. Richie and I will be at training camp on Saturday. He had an extra ticket, so I was able to hop on with him. So if you guys are going to the Saturday practice at all, we will be over there. For that. And then, boys and girls, if you do not know, we are doing our group buy for Jets Broncos. So tonight is going to be the last night of, where is it? That price down there. Technically, training camp starts tomorrow, so we'll do it. Starting tomorrow, price goes up to $299. We have, I think it's 20 tickets left, 15 tickets left. I think it's 15 tickets left. So if you guys want to get in on it, you got to get in now, and it is going to be gone before too long. We're hanging out with Tailgate Joe, drinks, field access after the game. We're really excited for it. Green Bean, Matt, we had a blast last year. How you feeling, Matt, about this group buy this year? Maybe you think we get to see Zach Wilson?
I don't know if we're gonna see Zach Wilson. Who knows? Maybe like Trevor Siemian somehow ends up on their practice squad and starts, and then Tim Boyle comes in at halftime and we get the trifecta or something. I don't know. But I am so amped up for that game. I know a lot of Jet fans are going to be excited to be in the building. First 1 o'clock game of the year too, which is always a good one. You get there nice and early for the tailgate. You get out at a reasonable time. I like that.
Green Bean, how about you? How you feeling about this, little group buy thing we got going on? I'm going to freeze myself because I have clearly lost this poll.
Yeah. You're. Well, let me say this. Number one, I am a little upset this year. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make it up to training camp. I mean, the story's not written, but all the options that I've had just don't work with me. So I'm a little bit down. Last year I went 3 times. So anyway, I'm just a little bit upset. But the group buy is really exciting. Like Matt just said, it's the first 1 o'clock game. It's really like the only 1 o'clock game till the second half of the season. So we're happy that we did that. And the good thing about this, last year we did the Chargers game. It was a night game, and it was 1 week after Coney Island closed. So this year, everybody, for every Jets fan around you, if you're in the area, if you're coming in the Saturday before the group buy, we're going to be doing we're returning to the Coney Island Cyclone and doing the Jets chant from the top of the Cyclone. We'll also follow that with some good Brooklyn pizza, some round pizza this year. We're not going to go to L&B again. We're going to go to a proper Brooklyn pizza spot. So just the whole weekend, doing that, meeting up with everybody, going to Brooklyn, riding the Cyclone, like just having the whole feel, and then getting there nice and early, like we said. I'll be there. I think they open it at 9 or 8:30. I usually get there early. I like to do my little tour. I like to go say hello to Gotham City. I like to go say hello to Phil from Jet Nation, and then kind of do that whole thing. And then we're going to be set up right there with Tailgate Joe, dude. It is going to be an absolute blast. And, dude, let me say this. I'm so hoping Zach Wilson starts for these sons of bitches, everybody. If any team wants revenge, if any defense is like, oh, give us this guy, that is the guy. This is the defense. Whether or not we get that remains to be seen. But either way, it's going to be such a cool thing. I mean, dude, we've sold almost all of the tickets already, guys. Like, that's the truth of the matter. There are tickets left, but we sold significantly more than maybe we were even expecting this early in the process. So I hope if you want to go, I hope you jump on in and join us, because it's just such a good time. It's one of my favorite things to do all year, and I'm really excited about this one.
It's cool because you finally get to put a name to some of the faces that are in the chat too. Like, it was nice meeting Blitz Crew last year, and
Blitz Crew
Engine, and
doesn't he stand out?
Andrew
from last
Sanka, he's coming. He just got his tickets. I saw him put that through the other day. Super stoked to see everyone again. It is a very, very good time. I want to acknowledge Alan's super chat. Alan just said, "I'd like to freeze." Sorry, I'd like to freeze Hassan Reddick, please. Welcome back, everyone. So, Alan, thank you so much for that. It looks like I'm leading in the damn poll again.
That's right.
I'm gonna wind up getting frozen. But we'll. Sorry, Green Bean. I didn't mean to step on your toes there.
No, I was just saying, another one that stands out is Jet Engine from last year, because as soon as I saw, we were hanging out under our tent, and we had the big Talkin Jets thing in our table, and all of a sudden I get hit like in the neck with this shirt, like an aggressive, like balled up T-shirt, just like, and we're like, ugh. Now a T-shirt's not going to hurt, but it was a little startling. And I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, Jet Engine, So he's just like a big, imposing fella. And he stood out to me from last year. But there are so many guys. Jason Edwards Just so many, man. But it's just, like you said, it's so great to like put the names to faces. I hope Harry can come this year. Harry's been with us every year. I hope he can come again this year because it's just such a good time, guys. Really,
we had people flying in from everywhere. We had Maine, we had Florida. I think we had Ohio too. There was a few people coming into the area. Love it. You boys and girls, head over to talkinjets.com. Get your tickets before they're gone. Mike D's Nuts says, I'm at their fans, guys. Let's go. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but D's Nuts, glad to have you. You the man.
I am also at their fans.
Ryan King dropping a big old super chat. Hit those milk thumbs. Drop some JETS in the chat for Ryan King. Thank you so much for the very generous donation. He says, hey, boys, missed you guys. Let's effing go. Can't wait for Jets football. Green Bean, are you in favor of Adams-Rodgers reunion? Freeze Matt and Ryan. Let's effing go. JETS, Jets.
I'm going to go solo on this one, huh? Well, let me say this first. Ryan, I saw that you texted me. I had every intention of getting back. I actually started to write back, so it wasn't intentional. I'm scattered these days, but I sincerely appreciate you reaching out. Ryan was checking on me, everybody. He's like, dude, you okay out there? So, Ryan, you're a good man, and I appreciate that. And I apologize about not getting back to you, buddy. But I think anybody who's not in favor of a Rodgers Adams reunion would be crazy. I mean, I just don't think it's going to happen. Just like a lot of people have said, I think if it happens, it'll happen closer to the trade deadline, and it'll be real neat to see us. Like if we're a good football team and we're winning games and we can still kind of pull together a trade to improve and bolster the team heading into the back half of the season and the postseason, that'll be really exciting. I think, anybody who says, no, I don't want that to happen, I don't know what planet you come from. It would be amazing to see Garrett Wilson, Davante Adams, Malachi Corley, and hopefully, Williams is healthy and the rest of the boys. Just adding him to the mix would just be, nothing but exciting. And I think, dude, it's time. I don't give a shit. I want to see as many weapons as possible. I want to see as many opportunities to succeed as we can compile. I like our team, but adding Davante Adams would be a pretty fun thing to do, in my opinion.
So, Matt, I want to get your opinion real quick, but I have won this poll, so I guess I'll be freezing myself momentarily. But I just want to give my thoughts on the Rodgers-Adams reunion. I think it's definitely going to happen. I think it's probably going to be closer to the trade deadline. If it happens, Davante Adams' contract would be something like, the remaining part of this year for let's call it 8 games, 9 games, whatever it is, for the regular season, and you're paying him about $8 million, $9 million, give or take in there. I do think if a trade were to be facilitated, it's probably going to be a second-round pick with a conditional, with the condition being elevated to a first-round pick in the event the Jets make the playoffs. I think it'll be pretty easy to get to that first-round pick. And I do think at that point, before the trade is made, Davante Adams would restructure his contract to align with a 2-year window with Rodgers. I think that's probably what we'll end up seeing. And it also gives us a nice little shot in the arm. I really like having that extra boost of energy. And we tried it a little bit the last 2 years when we had injuries. Breece Hall went down. We wound up trying to do that kind of trade for James Robinson. Didn't ultimately work out, but it was trying to get that little shot in the arm. Last year, I'm blanking on who we brought. Oh, it was the quarterback. Who the hell we brought?
Tim Boyle.
Simeon. No, it was Simeon. We signed Simeon. It was like, oh, hey, we're trying. And this is our good swing of the club. No, bringing in Davante Adams in if there's any sort of struggles or even just to get that little extra push over the top midway through the season when your body starts to really start feeling all these hits, I think that's when you wind up doing it. I think Davante Adams becomes a Jet. He'll finish out the season here and he'll be with us for one additional season. It'll be a 2-year deal when he winds up coming over. That's my thoughts on it. Matt, your thoughts on Davante Adams, Rodgers? You think it's happening?
He froze himself. I was like, "What is that noise?" After because I looked down at it. But it was the off season for us. We got to get back in the groove here. But I think there's a bigger chance for this Davante Adams thing to happen than some people give credit. Especially fans of opposing teams. They're like, "Oh, well, they said that the Raiders want to keep him, and he's a Raider right now." And it's like, well, I don't know if they start 2-6, is he still going to feel that same way? And if the Jets are 6-2 or 5-1 or whatever, and Mike Williams isn't 100% still, and Malachi Corley's coming on slowly, I think there's a world where Davante Adams could be had, and I think there's a reason why the Jets traded back in the draft and acquired an additional third-round pick this year, because I think the extra mid-round ammunition gives them an opportunity to put together a pretty appealing package on a potential rental even option if they wanted to go that route, if it's not a Davante Adams.
It is exciting. This is an exciting year, boys and girls. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're excited like us, we only got 70 likes on this video. For every 25 likes we get on this video, we're going to pick a t-shirt, jersey, hat, mug, pillow. I think that's all we got on the spin wheel. Giveaway, contestant qualifiers that we'll pick at the end of this stream. So hit that like button if you enjoyed the Talkin' Jets panel. We're glad to be back. I want to jump over to Mitt Flair real quick, then we'll get back to some of the other super chats that came in. Mitt Flair says, I missed you three beautiful people. I was wondering if Green Bean was going to say F it and not come back, so freeze Bean. So I'm going to freeze Bean right now because you said so. Man. I appreciate that. But I think we should still do the poll question because we do want to be a people's show. We want to let the people vote on it, and hopefully I don't get frozen again. Okay. I saw a comment in there. They're like, oh, we're trying to keep you fresh, Ryan. Try to make your shelf life last a little longer. And I appreciate that. So Matt's going to put another poll question in there. We'll see who winds up getting frozen. I see Ron Weiss in the chat. He says, okay, this is BS. My guys are back, and you fans start freezing them. This is bovine stool. Thank you, Ron. It's our guy right there. Jason wound up winning tickets to the last year's Jets-Chargers group buy. He says, miss you guys. What jerseys are y'all wearing to the Jets-Denver game? I'm thinking of picking up a John Abraham jersey with the new throwbacks. Thoughts? Ooh, that's a really good one. I kind of thought about trying to get some of the old throwbacks that I didn't have. Like, I don't have a Corbett right now. Like, the Corbett I have, I got that one off 𝐒𝐻𝐵ATE in the back, and I just for, like, the arts of it all. Like, it was a little home arts and crafts project. But I think I might go with a white Wayne Corbett jersey just so I can have one. Because when I was younger, I had a Wayne Corbett jersey, but it wasn't, like, a legit one. And it was also, like, sort of, like, had, like, the tape, on the edge. Not a very... good jersey. I wore it all the time, but it was that's probably what I would do. I'll probably wear my Garrett jersey to the game, but I want to buy one of the new Wayne Corbett ones. Matt, what about you? What jersey are you wearing? And are you going to get any of the throwbacks? New throwbacks?
I think I'm going to hold off for now. I immediately purchased the same jersey that you're wearing now, the green Garrett Wilson. I have from the legacy last year and Aaron Rodgers. So I think it's going to be dependent on if the Jets are wearing white or green for that game. If they announce beforehand, if they're wearing white, then I'll probably rock the Aaron Rodgers white legacy. But if they are in green, then maybe I'm rocking that Garrett number 5 right there with you.
Ooh, Green Bean, what about you? What jersey are you wearing to the Jets-Broncos game?
I'm not sure yet. I will say I'm excited. What a year for the revamp of our look, right? Like just this week, we got the classics and we had, obviously I think most of us are happy with the rebrand and all that shit, getting the Adam Gase stink off of the building and out of the house, so to speak. So I don't know. I might be motivated to procure one of the new dudes in a classic jersey. Like I might be motivated to do that. If not, I could be wearing a sauce. I could be wearing a bird. So I'm not sure. I haven't committed yet. But either way, I'm excited about the options for once. The other jerseys suck the balls, everybody. Did they not? Can we say it now for real? How bad did that whole look suck? Can we just say it? It's terrible.
Milk thumbs.
I figure that was kind of like a suckle sound.
Yeah, very sucky.
Close enough.
Suckle.
Jake, what's good, dude? Jake says, at the Yankees game right now, so can't watch. We'll be back later.
Hey.
Happy you three are back together. We need it. JETS, Jets. Jake, thank you for tuning in, dude. Holding it down.
He's got a tweet making the rounds. He tweeted a guy in a Yankees jersey and a Mets hat. And it was making the rounds. It was on MLB Network, actually. Taylor's dad sent me a screenshot of it. And also,
awesome.
if Jake's still here or listening back later, you have a fan because Taylor's dad said that he was listening to you on the morning show. So congrats for being on the ESPN radio this morning, too, filling in.
Hell yeah. Jake crushing it over there. If you guys are not subscribed to Jake, make sure you head over there and hit that. Which reminds me, hit our subscribe button too if you're tuning into us. There's a bunch of people that wind up watching this show that don't actually subscribe to it, and it would mean a whole heck of a lot. That's totally free to do. Just hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing here. Let's go through Josh. Josh comes in and says, welcome to the 2024 Talkin' Jets crew. Super excited to see the boys again. Going to camp for my birthday on the 30th. Let's go Jets. Let's go Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean. Matt's going to be there, so make sure you flag Matt down.
Yes. Richie will be there as well. So I'll be sitting with Richie that day.
Hell yeah. Jets Mets comes in and says, Kenny Yeboah for Adams. Straight up. Who says no? Probably Green Bean. Green Bean, would you trade Yeboah for Davante Adams?
No. Of course. Are you fucking kidding? If that's what it took, if they said, hey, look, you can have Davante Adams, but we want Kenny Yeboah, I would stumble over him. And I love Kenny Yeboah as is being insinuated by our good friend Jets Mets. I would stumble over myself trying to grab a pen to sign that.
After drafting Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer the last 2 years, they could really add another tight end to the mix. So
right,
they need that special teams tight end, the guy that could really lock it down. That's hey, Raiders fans, come at us. Broncos and Falcons game for us, says Mike D's Nuts. He's correcting his super chat earlier today where he says, I'm at their fans. Let's go. And he means Broncos Falcons game. And then
I'm also at their fans. I still don't know if I understand. Right?
I don't think I totally get, but maybe he's like in their DMs and he's just like rattling their cage. Just like, I'll show you, Broncos fans. Okay. Hype. What's good, dude? Says, welcome back, my guys. Win with 3-team deal. 𝐒𝐿 to Vegas, Adams to New York, a 2025 second, and 𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐾 blocking and body frame. Second to San Francisco. Let's go, JD. Honestly, if there was ever going to be a 3-team trade, one between like the Jets and the San Francisco 49ers to get us Davante Adams, like to pair up with Aaron Rodgers, makes a ton of sense. The NFL just never does 3-team trades for some reason, but you could see assets start swinging around that way. Matt, do you think you could see those 3 teams, maybe not at the same time making the same trade, but switching those players around?
That'd be really interesting. I would love to see a 3-team trade like that. Like, I don't know. We see it in other sports, and I feel like other sports have better and more exciting trade deadlines. I feel like NFL trade deadline is a little bit on the slow side. And so that you get excited because your team signs who's the offensive lineman that we don't know if was actually here or alive.
Oh, Saffold.
Yeah, Rodgers. There you go. And then you got spin zone. NFL deadline day is usually you got to spin zone yourself into thinking Rodgers Saffold signing is actually better than going out and acquiring someone via trade. So I want more. Like I don't think Hype's proposal here, unfortunately, is very realistic, but I wish it was because that would make for a very interesting trade deadline.
Yeah, the trade deadline, they pushed it back actually 1 week this year from where it was. The NFL has the earliest trade deadline compared to any of the major sports. I think most teams or most leagues are sitting around like the 65 to 70% of their season is completed. The NFL is like 50% or just below 50%. I think it's like 46%. And then so like you wind up having really good players that are stuck on bad teams because teams can't trade them off. And I guess that's in fear of like teams tanking and like really bottoming out. But man, it would be nice to see those good players play in the primetime slots to help teams that, you know, could potentially win a Super Bowl. I think it kind of hits a whole lot of good for the league and for fans. Greenby, what are your thoughts on 𝐒𝐿 to Vegas, Adams to the Jets, and 𝐒𝐻𝐵𝐾 and draft picks to the 49ers?
a second and Lazard for Davante Adams. So we give a second.
I think it's
to both teams?
San Francisco. No, I think San Francisco gets 2 seconds. One from us, one from the Raiders. And then 𝐒𝐿𝐿 goes to Vegas. Adams comes to New York. That's how I'm reading this.
Yeah, I mean, Davante Adams and Lazard for a second. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, right? I think I'm pretty good.
Let's do it.
Yeah, do it in a hurry. I like it, hype.
Stifler's mom coming in with super chat. Thank you so much, Stifler's mom. Glad to see you guys back. Haven't been tapped in for a while. Are you guys going to any games this season? I want to come through and show love. Been watching since Ryan's wanted Pickens. Stifler's mom, thank you so much for the super chat. And that's 2 years ago. That's the Sauce Gardner, or I guess 2.5 years ago now, the Sauce Gardner draft. I know Greenbean and I were both, kind of high on Pickens coming out for that early second round pick at that point. But yeah, we're going to be going to Jets Broncos this year, week 4. We do have a few tickets left. I think we had 15 tickets before we started this show. I have not paid attention to how many have sold since then, but if you do want to get in on it, www.talkinjets.com. Prices go up tomorrow, going from $275 to $299. So make sure you get your tickets while they last. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Peter drops in. What's up, Peter? He says, now that we have a white classic uniform helmet combo, how long before they do the legacy logo in it too? 2025, hopefully. Yeah, it's got to happen. They need to have the white helmet with the Jet legacy logo on the side in green. I think that would just look so, so nice. They do have the black iteration of it, so we'll get to see that this year. But I'm happy to have the retro uniform be that like 98 to 2018 jersey that we all, at least Matt and I, grew up with it, and Greenbean, you knew it for 20 years, so like I really like that jersey. Greenbean, I want to hear from you. What do you think of that iteration of jersey comparatively to like everything you've seen as a fan?
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, if you look at the most winning teams that the Jets have ever had, most of them are in that jersey. So, that helmet. Let me say the helmet. That's the big piece for me. It's about the helmet to me. And you know what the thing is? I like the pictures that I believe they were the all whites. That's my favorite incarnation of it too. Like, I love the all whites. But yeah, man, I think that was a surprise to me. I didn't see that coming. Now, admittedly, I wasn't like, I didn't have my ear to the ground this offseason. I took a break, which is the first time in, I don't know, man, 2 decades that I took an actual, I forced myself to take a break. Every now and then I'd check Twitter and get all pissed off and get off there in 5-10 minutes. I'm like, these bunch of assholes, that kind of thing. But for the most part, I stayed away. So I didn't see it coming. The fact that all of a sudden, after getting the old 80s, 90s word mark on the helmets and getting rid of the wings on our jersey, whatever the hell that was, I was fine. That was good enough for me, baby. So the fact that we got this as our alternate, let's just call it, is really exciting to me because that's my favorite jersey and helmet. I saw no reason to move from it. I mean, I thought it's a classic look. It's football to me. But the Jets, the best teams we've ever had, whether it's the Namath teams, whether it's the Rex Ryan teams, even the 2015 almost team that we had, our best years outside of just a smattering here and there have been in that jersey. So for me, it's nice to see it come back. I just hope we never see the Adam Gase, Christopher Johnson jerseys and helmet ever again.
We got John saying, are you guys going to any training camps? I'll be there on July 30th with my mom. O'Leary, going to be there with Richie on the 30th.
Yeah.
So make sure you flag those two down. Which reminds me, actually, Matt, can you keep track of this in the chat? Guys, if you are able to go to either one of the training camp on the 25th or the training camp on the 30th, we've got some tickets to give away. Put an emoji of a ticket plus the date that you can go, either the 25th or the 30th. Matt's going to keep track of that, and we're going to give away in total 3 pairs of tickets. We've got 6 tickets total, so we'll do a 2-pack per person at the end of this stream. I'll be at the Saturday practice, so if anyone's going to Saturday, I believe that's the welcome back practice that they're doing. Myself and Richie will be there, so flag us down. We'll be hanging out, trying to watch as much as we can. I just want to see every slow motion throw to Garrett Wilson and slow-mo handoff to Breece Hall, go for a touchdown, and it's just what I want. Nose Kills coming in with a super chat says, just 3 to 4 years ago, at this time, we would have been talking about how Jalen Keys got to pop off if we want to make the playoffs. We got dogs. Welcome back. Nose Kill, you are absolutely right. We got a rock solid roster this year. If the health is, fingers crossed, we should be in very nice shape heading in there. We got Lou joining the OnlyFans. Lou, thank you so much for joining the OnlyFans for us. If you guys want to join the OnlyFans, it's a nice little gag. It's not actually OnlyFans. You're not going to see any skin action, over there. But a little bit, Matt? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. You don't know. You got to sign up. Maybe
you got to sign up for the OnlyFans. That's the only way to do it. And, it's a great thing. You tell your wife you signed up and subscribe to an OnlyFans, and then it's really just a YouTube membership. We're just immature, and that's how we decided to make our channel membership. So if you want to spot us, a little bit, head over, click the join button down below. Going back to a few of our member super chats, I see Horatio in here. Welcome back, Talking Jets crew. Training camp, let's go. We've got Crossfire in the chat. Hopefully we get to see you at the game this year. He says, my wife bought me 2 tickets for the group buy. I'm super excited. Yes! Crossfire, we're going to see you there. Can't wait.
A Crossfire, from what I understand, is currently living at Matt O'Leary's house. So it'll be a nice short drive. Right?
That is true.
Shout out Crossfire hooking me up, and Paris Electric, the whole team hooking me up with some nice electrical work and a new outlet in my upstairs bathroom.
So if you guys need electrical work done in New York, Crossfire is your guy. Make sure you reach out to him. Good dude. What was the company again, Matt?
Paris Electric.
Paris Electric. Hit him up. Good people over there. Support some of our own. Jason Edwards coming in, says, can't wait to be there this year. We will bring the heat that game, plus a victory. Yeah, we haven't seen a victory in a while. I mean, I think the only victory I've seen in the last 10 years at MetLife was week 1 last year. That was the only, and unfortunately, it was the devastating game when Aaron Rodgers went down. So, felt like a loss more than a win. But yeah, we're going to get a win this year, Jason.
We've never seen a win together. Never.
Yes, that's true. We haven't seen a win together. We've gone to a bunch of the home openers. Normally that's what we do.
And we've seen some of the worst football. Like the first one when I sat with O'Leary, we saw the Zach Wilson 4 interception game. That was good. And then what the Chargers game was it was over before we got to our seats. It's brutal. I haven't seen a victory in that stadium since 2015, man, against the Jaguars. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Dude, it has been a long, long time. Just want to see a whole bunch of victories. I want to see a winning season. We have been doing these channels every single year since 2000, I don't know, was it 18 now? And we have not seen a winning season. That's far too long. It's unacceptable.
That's nuts.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember the last Jet game I went to and they won. I think it's 2019. I think it's 5 years ago. It was a Jets Dolphins game.
Oof. That's rough too.
Yeah,
Man,
it's a long
at least you got to see a division rival. That was nice. It was nice, walking out of the Bills game last year. It's maybe Aaron Rodgers will be all right. And then you see the video clip and you're like, no.
I have no idea I don't even understand. Because like you said, since we've been doing channels, every time I've gone up there, I walk out, I'll film a short or something, and I'm like, fucking lost again. Our offensive coordinator, I'm always in that mode, what went wrong. I have no idea what it's like to leave and be in a good mood. And we have such a good time, before we go in, we have just such a blast. And then we walk in and it's an instant drab. Oh, the other one was the Ravens in the rain. Remember the opening day?
Did that one? Like we had the interception, or no, it was the fumble that got stolen from us against the Patriots. Got Rodgers going. Like we just been screwed left, right, and sideways. And then even last year when we went to the Charger game, they had returned a punt, I think, before we even got to our seats. You're like, what the hell happened?
And it was so good too. We were on the field for the the player introductions, and so they were doing the practice. Zerline was doing his practice field goals, and one of our group caught the field goal. I mean, it was just such an electric, amazing night, and we're like in such good spirits. And we get to our seats, and we're already down a touchdown, and we never got there, not even to tie that. It was over. But we did see the first roughing the passer penalty in 2 years. That was exciting.
That was honestly one of the most exciting moments, because the Jet fans knew it, but the Chargers fans that were around were like, what is going on? And we're like, it happened. It finally happened. 2 years. Been nuts.
They had no idea. Like, what's wrong with you guys? We're like, oh my God. It was like we won the Super Bowl. We couldn't believe it. It was real.
It was absurd. Jay-Z Jet fan says, got my tickets. How do I pick the shirts? I got 3, bringing my daughter and her boyfriend. He's a Broncos fan. Let's terrorize him. Oh, we're absolutely going to do that. Jay-Z Jet fan, reach out to me on jetstalk247@gmail.com or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. We actually needed to pull the shirts, but we'll get you set up with the shirts. No problem. We've got, who else? Sorry, I'm just scrolling through here. Charles. What's up, Charles? Good to have you in here. Long time no talk. He says, hey, guys, how you holding up? Anyways, can't wait for this season. To be honest, I am more optimistic this season than last season. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was so jazzed up for last season, but I feel more optimistic because of the offensive line depth. I trust our offensive line a little bit more than I did last year. And then I also trust our backup situation with Tyrod Taylor. And then obviously I like Jordan Travis kind of sitting in the back wings and waiting there. Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited. Got to be looking forward to this season. Matt, would you say more excited this year or last year?
Definitely this year, because I think their contingency plan is much better this year than when it was last year. Because at this time it was like, oh, we're excited, but like, man, they really need things to break right with that offensive line. And they didn't really have a plan at backup quarterback. And guess what? Both those things ended up coming back and biting the Jets. And then they went out and signed 3 new starters or traded for one of them. And then they drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. And they signed a real backup quarterback and then drafted a developmental quarterback. So I think they're significantly deeper than what they were last year. I'm just as excited, but I like their chances better this year, I think, than last year.
Green Bean, what about you? More excited this year or last year?
With hindsight, I think I feel better, just like you guys are saying. I think that this is a better, a deeper team. But I was excited last year. I have to. I didn't love our offseason. I didn't love our first round pick positionally. I didn't love our attention to the offensive line. I didn't think Mecole Hardman and Lazard were a good way to address our wide receiver needs. And I didn't love, Izzy, as the running back draft pick and stuff like that. But I was still very excited, especially September 10th. I was feeling about as good as I've felt going into a Jets season as I felt in many, many years. But I have to say, I think the team is better positioned this year. Like, even though our offensive line, like we have a good offensive line with a bunch of injury concerns, but we have some backup that I think is a little bit stronger this year. I feel the key, dude, and this is the whole thing. I don't want to go back to our draft arguments, but the key to the season is really very, very simple. Aaron Rodgers has to play quarterback for us. Right? Like that's the key to the season. So whatever we can do to keep that guy on his 2 feet is going to be key. That's good. That's the make or break. So I like the fact that we used our first round pick on Olu, and he's got versatility, can back up both sides. And so I'm just I can't say I'm more excited, but intellectually I think that this is a better position team. I think Joe Douglas had a good offseason, a solid draft, and yeah, let me just say I am as excited as I'm supposed to be, man. I don't give a shit what anybody's saying. That all these naysayers, we saw the USA Today pick us to win the Super Bowl. That's more in lines. I just, that's fine. Everybody can say that Aaron Rodgers is old and this guy's a fraud and that guy's. Let them say it. We're gonna knock the snot out of people this year. That's my firm belief, and I just can't wait till week 1, man. I think it's going to be a fun season for us.
Yeah, I would say I was more excited last year, but I'm more confident this year. I think like kind of, a little bit of both, because for all the reasons you guys both just stated, like didn't love last offseason because the whole thing was about getting Aaron Rodgers and bringing those guys in. And this year was more about building it up from where we currently were. So I definitely like that. I see Hype in the chat again says, Rodgers is good for 1 touchdown extra per game. We would have won 11 in 23. Is the press hating? We are contenders easily. I did see ESPN say New York and Green Bay Super Bowl. And hey, look, Green Bay's quarterback, Jordan Love, holding out. So maybe it's not just an Aaron Rodgers thing. Maybe it's just a way Green Bay tends to handle their contracts over there. And Aaron's really just a great guy. I think he's a great guy. I think we all think he's a great guy. Matt, what are your thoughts on Love not showing up to camp?
Shock. I don't blame him. I don't really have any ill will towards Jordan Love for doing that. I just think it's funny how some players are covered when they do things versus others. Like CeeDee Lamb, it just came across Twitter that CeeDee Lamb is not reporting for training camp. I wonder how that goes over in comparison to Hassan Reddick not showing up for training camp. Like things like that,
Green Bean, what about you? What do you think Super Bowl, New York versus Green Bay? And any thoughts on the Love holdout?
Well, you heard, I don't know if you did or not, but the GM 𝐒𝐮𝐞𝐽 says he feels they're close. So I think it's one of those things. Love is going to be starting for them this year, right? I like it. I like anything that puts a stick in the spokes of anybody else. All right, you know how I am. I'm a grumpy, miserable bastard.
Curmudgeon.
I love it. You're curmudgeon, right? I love anything that's negative for anybody else. I also like to minimize our own stuff. So I think the difference with Hassan Reddick is that we traded for him and he's holding out, right? So I think that's kind of the rub, like we let Huff go to the team that we got Reddick for. So it's a little bit more entailed, and I can understand it, and it's frustrating, and I'm not happy about it. And my first thought is, well, what an asshole. That's my honest thoughts. Like, this guy, like they had an agreement or whatever. We don't know for sure, but I think that's where it's kind of a little bit different. But I think Jordan Love will be the quarterback of the Packers this year. I think CeeDee Lamb will be playing for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So I don't think anybody's too concerned at this point. But I will say I believe Reddick will play for us, whether it's tomorrow he fixes it, or in 2 weeks, whatever. I would just like him to see. I would like to see him get as many reps as possible. He is a new piece to the defense, where the guy that we lost, Bryce Huff and JFM and Jefferson, as well as Al Woods. So we lost a couple guys. So anybody we're adding to the defensive line, which is our really our bread and butter. It's the centerpiece of our defense. The more reps that we can get these guys, the better. So even though Reddick is a pro, he's a vet, he's exceptional at what he does. he's in a new defense for the first time in a long time, and I think it's important that we get this taken care of, whatever it looks like. So I'm disappointed that he's holding out. I wish that it wasn't happening, and it's kind of it's an indicator. Like if they had an agreement and he just decided, hey, you know what, my value is what it is, and I'm going to capitalize on that and doesn't care. It's kind of a douche move, which I don't love, but I think he'll be playing for us. Hopefully it's sooner than later.
So Green Bean touched on it. It's something that we'll just hop right into. The Hassan Reddick holdout, officially, I guess now holdout, although I guess it was official when he missed minicamp, the mandatory stuff. Connor Hughes coming in today with a little bit of insight. Sources: the Jets made Hassan Reddick a contract offer before the trade from Philadelphia. It would have been a raise from the $14.5 million he's scheduled to make this year. Reddick declined the offer. The Jets said he wanted more than $25 to $28 million a year annually. They needed to see him perform. In the meantime, the Jets would adjust his contract, his current deal, to convert the non-guaranteed money to guaranteed money. It's about a $15 million contract that would be guaranteed. Reddick told the Jets he was on board with this. He would show up for the offseason programs, minicamp and training camp. He'd perform well early in the season, leading to an in-season extension similar to John Franklin Myers in 2021. Reddick then skipped OTA's minicamp and training camp. The Jets are not willing to negotiate anything until he shows up. The Jets do not know when he plans on coming back. He will be fined for his absences. So it's about $50,000 a day is what Reddick is going to be fined. This is important to listen to what Connor Hughes is saying. He does tend to be kind of the, I don't want to, this sort of has a negative connotation to it, but like the mouthpiece for the Jets. Like when the Jets want to put something out there into the ether, Connor Hughes is generally the guy they tap to do that. And look, I'm with the Jets on this one. You got to show up to camp. You got to show up and prove that you can play in this defense, because we've seen what you can do in Philadelphia, but we want to see you do it here. We're fine with giving you the fully guaranteed contract that you signed initially with the Eagles that you're now holding out on. And what happened was after the Jets trade for him, the Jets wound up trading John Franklin Myers away. You wind up, your defensive line appears to have more concern, I guess, with it right now. And that's where Hassan Reddick was like, look, the situation has changed since I was getting traded to the Jets. Now I want to use that leverage to try and parlay that into a contract. Now, I'm on record as saying I don't want to give Hassan Reddick a contract. I don't think it's a good move for the Jets. I think what I would do is if you could figure out, a Band-Aid contract for 2 years, but a long-term contract, I'm out on. I don't think $25 to $28 million a year for Hassan Reddick is a good move for this New York Jets team. Matt, what are your thoughts on the holdout for Hassan Reddick, what we heard from Connor Hughes today, and your thoughts just in general?
Yeah, so for me, what I would do with Hassan Reddick is I think they should redo the deal for this year, get whether it's more incentives or whether it's adding in just converting more money to guaranteed money, whatever the case is, to get him a little bit more in his pocket this year. Do that. I would really, my line is next year, 2025. Like if you want to redo it and tack on an additional year, I'm okay with that, because that kind of falls in your Aaron Rodgers window over the next 2 years. But I don't want to be in a spot where the Jets are paying Hassan Reddick in 2026 when he's 32 years old. Like I don't know if that's really where they need to be, and it'll be big money. Apparently like 25 to 28 million. Like if it's 25 million, on a 2-year deal, replacing it for this year and next year, okay, that's what it is. But if he's getting $28 million when Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall all need their money, like then that means someone's not getting signed.
Not to mention our defensive line, you could argue that our D-line kind of makes the player, or our scheme makes the player. So Hassan Reddick, while he's a great player before he comes to the Jets, he's going to have a phenomenal season. So like he could parlay this into a monster contract if he really wants to play out this, 1 year and then go out, be the mercenary. I think Jet fans would be fine with it. I'm a little surprised he's not going to do that, but I think Joe Douglas, sticking to his guns and not paying him right now, I think is the right move. You at least got to set the example for what it takes to get a contract with the Jets, and holding out and missing team activities I think it helps send a message to the younger guys on our own team as well. Green Bean, what are your thoughts on the Hassan Reddick holdout, what we learned from Connor Hughes, and just your overall feeling on the situation?
Yeah, well, and this is, I was referencing, this was the tweet I was thinking of when I was making my last comment. But I agree with you guys. I think paying Hassan Reddick, like locking ourselves into a $25+ million contract, for a couple of years for him before we've ever even seen him in a Jets uniform, I think it's ill-advised, and again, like, they made the trade for him. You'd love to believe that agreements were made, but this is what I chalk it down to, everybody. I chalk it down to, it's virtually impossible for the Jets to go into training camp without drama, and that's all this is. It's it. It's just what it is. It's the normal operating procedure. It's impossible for us just to have everybody healthy, everybody signed, everybody not in the news, and just walk into camp and just be a football team. It's not possible for us. So that's all this is. We needed it. Thank you, Reddick, for keeping our streak alive. Again, I do believe that he'll be playing for us. I mean, you know what the greatest thing is, guys? Here's the best news ever, is that, and we forget this, he's the least talked about guy out of everybody in the offseason, is that we have a first-round pick with a year of experience who was very, very effective in the 19% snaps that he got last year. I think it was 19%. We have him on deck. So it's not like we're falling from Hassan Reddick, to Dorian Boose. I know that's a name that everybody's like, who's that? He was a guy one time we had on the Jets. we thought was going to be good, and he, guess what, was not. So it's not like we're going all the way back to a like a 6th-round pick, or just some scrub that's coming from the practice squad or something like that. We have 1st-round pick Will McDonald just waiting right there, and those reps that Hassan Reddick doesn't get, which again I hope he does get as many reps as possible, but the back end is that Will McDonald's getting those reps and he can use them. And I believe that he's going to be an exciting player. Again, ill-advised pick, not the right position at the time last year, but that doesn't mean that he can't be an impact player for us, an effective player for us. So we have the backfill. So I would just let Reddick and go, dude, you know what, man? You're pulling a dick move. We're still willing to do the thing that we talked to you about initially, guaranteed money, blah, 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 blah. But we're not doing this with you. And the truth is that we'll let you sit. It's a 3rd-round pick in 2026, isn't it?
Yep.
And we'll hang out. We're fine.
Not to mention, he's not going to hold out and miss out on the $15 million that he's slated to make this year in a contract year. Like, for someone that wants to get paid a fat stack of cash, you think he's going to hold out and miss out on all that dough in a season that he might be able to go to a Super Bowl and really parlay that money? Like, no, I am just fine with him holding out. I think, does it work out this way where the $50,000 that he's fined, does that go back onto our salary cap, or is it only if he misses games that goes back on? I don't know the logistics of like fines and salary cap issues.
That's a great question. I wish I knew the answer to that. We should get like Jason from Over the Cap on. I feel like that's the guy, the only one who would know.
Seriously, that would be a really good. I'll reach out to him. I'll see if he'd be interested in coming on. Curly comes in. Curly says, "Welcome back, guys. All holdout, no break. LOL. I have 4 tickets to the July 30th training camp. If any of you guys want/need, I got called into work. JETS. Curly, Matt's going to be at the training camp on the 30th, and he's going to be there with Richie. We're actually giving away 2 tickets to the training camp on the 30th. We got 4 tickets to give away, 2 pairs of tickets for the 25th on Thursday. Curly, if you haven't given away the tickets and you do want to put them in the giveaway for tonight, we'd be happy to give it away if that's what you're looking to do. Reach out to Matt on either Twitter or I guess Gmail. Matt, what would be the best spot for him to reach out to you if we were going to do this?
Yeah, you have him email the Talkin' Jets.
All right, Curly, email the Talkin' Jets Gmail, talkinjetshow@gmail.com if you want to send those over, because then we'll get those from you. We'll raffle them off at the end of the show if you haven't already given them out.
We have a slight issue. According to, unless my eyes are deceiving me, so far I've only seen JQuest and Marvelous put down that they could go on the 30th. I haven't seen anyone put in an entry for the 25th and no one else for the 30th. So
wow,
get in any if you can go, please put in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We're going to be giving away tickets. All you have to do is put a ticket emoji and the date that you can go to training camp. So either the 25th or the 30th. And we're going to be raffling off those tickets at the end of this show. And we don't have anyone going to the 25th, which means if 2 people want to get tickets, all you got to do is put it in there, and then we will get picked. And if we get more than 2, we'll do a raffle. Be great. But Curly, thank you so much. Matt, if you keep an eye on the Gmail, I did see Curly comment in there. He said copy that.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure that out. The tickets might have to go to like one of us, because I don't know if Talkin' Jet Show has like a Ticketmaster account, but we could do that pretty easily. I don't think that's overly hard. Logistical stuff. We can get it figured out. All right. As you can see, Hassan Reddick, 19th highest paid edge. I believe Samini had that tweeted out as well. He's a top 20 paid edge for this season. 50.5 sacks over the last 4 years and has forced 13 fumbles. This dude's going to be an absolute freak when he gets on the field for the New York Jets. And you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. He can't get hurt in training camp if he's holding out. Knock on wood. I guess he could still slip on like an ice cube. Wet floor kind of a thing. But
floor.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how agile he is. Maybe he's super like athletic when he's in cleats, but he's walking around in like Hey Dudes and he's just slipping.
I love Hey Dudes. If I could wear one shoe every day for the rest of my life, it might be Hey Dudes.
I need to get a pair of Hey Dudes. I don't actually have a pair. I'm wearing pillow slides right now. These are actually pretty comfortable.
Okay.
Like walking on little cushions. Yeah, my wife got them. I think I got the knockoff brand pillow slides, because I think pillow slides are normally like a brand for just girls, but they make like black ones and all these other like different colors now, and they're like walking on pillows. I got outdoor pair and I got indoor pair, but I got to get the Hey Dudes. I've heard a lot of people really like the Hey Dudes. We got some other stuff we can get into. Let me see. I had this up here. Rodgers was on Pardon My Take. So we can get a few different comments from him. He was asked the question where he was during training camp, or how that all sort of transpired. What were his thoughts on missing that mini camp portion? Here's what he had to say.
When I was in the NFC North and playing for that team years ago, there used to be a real thing called mini camp, where it was you had one of them usually. Sometimes it was right after the draft, but either way, it was 5 practices in 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 2 practices on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Now it's not mini camp. They can arbitrarily put a tag on whatever week of OTAs they want to say this is the mini camp week, which makes it somehow more mandatory than the other weeks. But it was an OTA schedule. That's how it's, how words can be a little deceiving from time to time. You can make a story out of the fact that I missed a mini camp when it was really 2 OTA days.
Right. Interesting.
I came to the first 10.
Right. So this is a media thing.
So it's funny. I wouldn't have really thought about this particular argument until he said it, but it makes perfect sense, right? Like if there was a different portion of training camp, like if you factor in all these practices, 12 practices, 13 practices, whatever it wound up being, if you had to choose what to go to, going to the 10 where you're with your, beforehand, what's the difference really? Like it's a 3-day short mini camp and they just arbitrarily say it's mandatory. Now, look, he's still going to get fined per the CBA and everything, and there's all these logistical hurdles. My biggest issue with this is if he knew he was going on the trip, it would have been really nice to know it ahead of time. And I think whether he just forgot to tell people or he just wanted to make a little bit of a scene because he likes the little bit of extra drama and his name in the media, and he knows it's going to stir the pot with Jet fans and all that good jazz. Tyrod Taylor didn't know he was starting until that day. Robert Saleh, we knew about it for a while. Well, it really sure as shit doesn't seem like you knew about it for a while. So I don't know. I like Rodgers' response here. I'm still just irritated that the guy that says he would like to remove all the BS from the off the field stuff and focus on the on the field stuff tends to have a lot of BS in the off the field stuff. And this could have been a non-issue. So I guess that's my only gripe with this. Greenby, what are your thoughts on Rodgers' explanation for why he did not go to minicamp?
I think it's all stupid. I hear what you're saying, but I think that it's virtually impossible for Rodgers to have any opinion on anything or do or say anything without people. It's like the jackals just wait for anything he says. Like he's on Joe Rogan talking about pyramids, and they're like, he doesn't even care about football. And it's like all these fabricated stories. And I think it's complete bullshit. The guy missed 2 days from what it was, the way it was said earlier on. I think Robert Saleh alluded to it. He had it planned already before they had, firm schedule or whatever. He was just taking a trip. It happens all the time. Would you rather him there? Maybe. Who gives a shit? He was there 10 of the 12 days. I think it's much to do of nothing. And I don't see it. I think that more than likely every single person in the Jets building could care less about the fact that he missed 2 practices. If they were called voluntary versus they're called mandatory, like this is not a guy that we're worried about. It's not Mekhi Becton 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like he's out of shape. We don't know what he's doing and he's just not showing up. Like that, it's a different scenario. I don't think anybody's really concerned. I think it's pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And if these people had something else to actually talk about, I don't think it would be even a story. But hey, it's like it happened in a time, again, I don't, all the stuff that comes out about Rodgers, like 90% of it, I don't think is even a story anyway. They're like, this guy, he doesn't shut up. Why the fuck can't he talk? Why can't he have a life outside of football? Why can't he have opinions and have fun doing podcasts and talk about the Tartarian Empire? Why can't he do that without it being a problem? You know what I mean? Why can't he? He's not gambling on sports. He's not hanging out with hookers. Like there's none of that stuff. He's just chit-chatting. What's the big deal? I don't get
Escort, Green Bean. Escort. It's fine.
What?
There's an escort. Not hanging out with hookers, hanging out with escorts. I don't know if he's hanging out with escorts. Probably not.
Don't put that
escort, right? If he's gonna, escort would probably be the route he goes. That's and if you don't know, escort is a better hooker. What Ryan's alluding
or
to.
you could join our OnlyFans and help support the show. All you got to do is hit that join button. And if not, just hit that like button. For every 25 likes we get on this video, we're picking qualifiers to get a shirt or a hat or maybe even a jersey, depending on what the spin wheel lands on. Got so much going on. William comes in with a super chat. William, thank you so much. He says, happy training camp eve, gentlemen. Gets us all jazzed up. All jazzed up. It sounds like Curly emailed us, Matt. I don't know if
I'm going to look right now.
Check on that.
I see it.
Perfect. So guys, if you did not hear earlier, all you have to do is put a ticket and then the date, either 25th or 30th, if you want to get in and can go to training camp. We want to give them to someone that's actually able to go. So don't just put it in there if you can't go. But we'd love to have you guys.
Am I keeping track of the ticket thing?
No, O'Leary's keeping track of the days. You're just doing the 25 likes and super chats and stuff.
All right, good.
Crossfire says, sucky for $2. Make you holler for a $5. For a $5. Oh man, that is great. It's funny because I've heard the second part of that. I've never heard the first part. I'm a fan.
Sucky. And that's what Crossfire is talking about is a hooker, not an escort.
No, escort you pay for their time. Hookers you pay for their body.
How'd you know? How'd you know, Ryan?
I don't.
No. We all have a past, Matt.
Hey, Matt, you have a bachelor party coming up.
Oh, Wyatt.
Sorry. Sorry. This is a family show. We got some more stuff we can get into. Let's see. We got the Rodgers missing training camp, and then he was asked about how many years he's going to be playing. How many more seasons?
How many more years?
I don't know. I'm not sure. This one for sure.
This one for sure.
I wanted to do 2 good ones and to give us a chance to retire a Jet, win 2 Super Bowls.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd
be
be
yep.
great.
And then do the Kyle Orton.
Yeah.
Is that how you
Sure.
retire?
Legend, of course.
Just
yeah.
like take a sip of psychedelic tea and just disappear in the locker room.
Oh, I like
just
that.
fade
It was
away.
All an illusion.
Yeah.
Rainbow body.
Yeah. Was Aaron Rodgers ever real?
Yeah.
He was just-
I'll be happy to say no.
This is a simulation, so what is
right,
what is
exactly.
what are we
It is-
talking
no,
about?
you're right.
So, look, I completely agree with Rodgers. It's totally a simulation. Everything that's been going on with Jet fans specifically has been bonkers, and the only rational explanation is that someone's pulling all the strings and hitting all the buttons and saying, "Ha ha ha! Watch this!" Snapped Achilles. We're in a simulation right now. Green Bean, what are you thinking as far as 2 good seasons from Rodgers? You think we're getting 2 more years from him? You think it's one and done? You think it's more than 2? What's your mindset?
Well, I will admit that the comments he made previously were, I'm staying for at least, 2 more years and, maybe more. This was a little bit less committal, if you will. I don't love it. But again, I think if we're going to hang our hat on every word that somebody says every day, it's what does it mean? I think let's just watch this year and see what happens. If we have a good season and it's fun and he's healthy, I think we see him back. I think if we watch him get injured again, game 4 or whatever, I think we're probably done with the Aaron Rodgers era. I mean, he's 40 years old, man. I don't know how many more injuries he's going to want to come, fight his way back to getting, into football shape for. But yeah, I don't know. These interviews, it's who knows what he's feeling today. He could have allergies, you know what I mean? And be like, I don't fucking feel like doing anything. I mean, I don't know anything about anything. So I think let's just watch football. I don't like their dismissal. And this is the thing too. I get these comments sometimes that he's a drug addict, right? Because of his well-known affinity to at least, once a year go on an ayahuasca retreat. And then you heard them the psychedelic tea and they're kind of playing with it. And I think that number one, it bothers me because I think people don't we don't understand. So we just kind of make fun of this shit, but it's I don't see it as a problem with this guy. I just don't see the problems that a lot of people find with him. I don't see it. I don't think that what he says is something to make fun of per se. You don't have to agree. You could not give a shit one way or the other. But if somebody says yeah, well, I go to church and I talk in tongues, nobody's going to say anything. Nobody says anything about it. But is that any less, fringy than maybe something else? Who gives a shit? The guy's a human being. He has whims. He goes up and down. Imagine, Ryan, if you got asked the same question 56 times in a 3-month period. You think you would say the same thing over and over, or would you be you know what I mean? Are we susceptible to going, I don't know. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Maybe definitely this year. How's that sound?
Look, I definitely get that. And I think the way that he said it, where he's like, oh, definitely this year, is kind of in line with what he's been saying. I think he said it starting the end of last season, if I'm not mistaken, where it's hey, if we don't get our stuff together, we're not coming back next year. That. I think that's more where this is coming from. On the side of kind of poking fun at Rodgers, I think that's more of a societal thing. I think in order to I feel just going through life in general, you have to be able to be self-aware, and I think Rodgers is self-aware of some of the stuff that he does. It does come off, maybe a little bit fringy, and like Green Bean said, it's not necessarily something that's bad. It's something that we just don't understand as much of, that side of things. So I I see where you're coming from with that, Green Bean. And honestly, the guy's won multiple MVPs. So this guy is not like someone that's letting, some type of addiction or something like that take over and consume their lives. I understand there's like, functioning addicts and stuff like that, but that doesn't really seem to be where Rodgers is at with all this stuff. So I'm with Green Bean on this one. Matt, what are your thoughts on Rodgers' comments for how many years he might be playing left?
Yeah, I don't think he needs to give like a definitive answer right now. And I don't think we need to hold him to anything right now. I think it's kind of just like, dude, like, honestly, let's get through this year. Because like Green Bean said, if he, God forbid, we don't want this to happen, but if he gets hurt again, are you going to try to run it back for year 3 and go, oh, this is really it? Like, he's going to play more than 3 games this year, So my thought is it's going to be this year and next. But again, that's kind of just more opinion based. But let's just enjoy this year. I don't want to give too much away, but on tomorrow's Just Jets, one of the topics that I talk about is that training camp is opening. And something I bring up is like, I know we're all excited and we're like all about looking ahead, but let's really try to enjoy the ride that this year is supposed to be. Like, this is supposed to be a really good team, and we haven't seen a really good Jets team in a long time. So like, I don't know, embrace the little things, enjoy training camp practices, and let's not like wish away the year and think about, well, what about in 2025 or 2026? Like, let's just have fun right now.
As a new parent, I can tell you that the days feel long, but the months go fast. So just enjoy that little bit of time, even though it's stressful right now. Like, are we going to have a quarterback in the future? Oh, I don't know. I don't really care. We haven't had a quarterback in the longest damn time. I'm looking forward to just enjoying it this year and living and enjoying each and every moment that we get. Because you know what? This could be his last year. And if we can get a really nice season out of him, I very much am going to enjoy every little bit of it. Boys and girls, if you
don't ruin it by giving a shit about what he talks about on podcasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Only, hang out with us and bitch and complain about it and listen to our analysis on it. Because YouTube algorithm. Boys and girls, if you're not aware, we are doing our Talkin' Jets ticket group by Jets Broncos week 4, September 29th. 1 o'clock game. We're going on the field following the game. We got drinks, food, courtesy of Tailgate Joe. Make sure you get your ticket now. We are almost sold out. We actually don't even have the ticket only option anymore because we are very much down to the last little bit here. So it's $275 until tomorrow. Tomorrow it goes up to $299. So if you're interested in hanging out with us, very limited tickets left, and we would love to have you hanging out with us. Sam. Oh, Matt, I am just seeing this poll question right now. Who should we freeze, Ryan, or Ryan?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated as to like what would be option 1 and option 3 are so neck and neck, and why people are not picking the second option.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be like a psychology study on why your brain goes to the first versus the end something.
I don't know.
You know what's funny? I voted for Ryan, and I did pick option 2.
Really? So you're in the minority. Whatever state of mind people are in when they, do that poll question, you're in that same one. I like it.
Yeah, I'm weird.
It's all right. I'm wearing a pilot hat. I'm not a pilot. It's hot as shit in this room. I'm dripping in sweat right now. It is so hot in this damn room. I'm cooking. Ugh.
I got my door open and bugs. I'm actually going to close it. I keep taking. I got all these bugs fucking flying in here.
Ugh,
hold on. I'm gonna shut this.
I'm cooked. We should have been sponsored by Mando for this episode because I am like stanky. Could use some good wipes.
Oh, the bourbon leather body wash, man. It hits.
It's so nice. So nice. Sam drops in with a super chat. Sam says, "Welcome back, gentlemen. Is not signing Reddick another symptom of JD not making proper contingencies? At what point does he break this habit?" No, I think he knows that Reddick is not going to sit out, and I think it was a calculated risk. I don't think the Jets were ever really going to sign him to more money than what his current contract was, unless it was a team-friendly deal for 2 years. And Reddick apparently turned down the contract that would have been a raise for him. So I think Douglas is handling this the right way. And And I think he knows Reddick's going to show up. It's just a matter of when is he going to show up. I think you can trust that Reddick's at least going to stay in shape, because if he's not, then what is he going to do? Be a bust this year, get his, just this year's contract, and then doesn't parlay that into a big deal? Or is he going to ball out in a contract season and give us what we want, and then he'll be able to go out and get his contract at that point? Now, does he get a contract with the Jets? Maybe. It's possible. But the Jets said he's got to be at camp for that to happen. Green Bean, did you dislike anything with how Douglas has kind of operated? Sam is sort of saying, is this another symptom of JD not making proper contingencies, probably hearkening back to maybe not having an extra wide receiver last year, not having extra offensive line depth, not having the backup quarterback. What's your thoughts on this, Green Bean, the whole Reddick holdout?
Well, I think, Sam brings up a good point. I mean, it's one of my rubs with Joe Douglas. I feel like he's willing to bank on guys, that it's like that loyalty factor, which is a positive in some instances, but it's a detriment in others. Like, just depending on Becton and Dwayne Brown last year, when both were coming off of injuries, and it's like we didn't really do much. And everybody and their mother could look at that and say, this is not a good setup. And he's like, I'm excited about these guys. And, and I get it. But like the thing with Reddick, it's not that I have an issue with him not succumbing now, to the demands and all that stuff. My issue is, if it wasn't locked, like you need ink on paper before a trade comes into play. Like if he's going to hold out, or, why is Philly willing to get rid of him? All those kinds of things. Like you have to do that research and have commitment. Like, like the Connor Hughes tweet was stating, they had an agreement, an understanding. There's no such thing in business. I mean, the truth is I'm dealing with it literally right now in a different area. Like I'm dealing with unspoken misunderstandings, assumptions, and all that kind of stuff. There's just nothing like you could say, but I did this with the understanding. If it's not in ink and signed, it's not real. It's like in my field, we say if it's not documented, it didn't happen, right? So that's kind of where I have the issue, Sam. It's you gave up the third round. The third round pick is gone. Bryce Huff is gone. We have a guy that, if he plays, is a fantastic replacement for Huff. It's just about as positive of a switcheroo that you could have pulled, but he's not here. And if you have that, if you had the an understanding, which is now, hey, he went back on the understanding, that's where I have the issue. Not so much that we don't have a contingency so much, because we have Will McDonald, we have Jermaine Johnson, we have guys, young guys that are potentially studs that are going to play. But still, it's, if you're going to make the trade, you got to have it locked in. Whatever understandings you have, you got to have them locked in. And he didn't. And that's where the problem is from my vantage point.
So I want to push back on you just a little bit on that. And I would argue that he did have it locked in by way of the CBA. Like, there's no reason for Douglas to increase any kind of pay or to convert non-guaranteed money to guaranteed money, because the CBA contractually obligates Hassan Reddick to be at the mandatory practices. Now, he missed the voluntary practices. Now, maybe you could have worked that into the contract, that you start getting fined based on missing voluntary workouts. I don't know if the CBA will even let you do that. But like, what could Douglas have done other than just not trading for him? I think it was a calculated risk, knowing that Reddick is going to come in and play at some point. He's just not going. We run the risk of him maybe not showing up during the training camp portion of stuff. So I think there was, even though there wasn't a contract signed by Reddick and the Jets, by way of the CBA, that is the de facto contract. And the Jets protected themselves by saying, like, we're not guaranteeing this money right now, which would mean Woody Johnson would have to then shell out that guaranteed money on the spot. So I think it's guaranteed as long as he plays. So the Jets are in a better situation right now than if they had just guaranteed the money, at time of trade. I don't think it would have necessarily changed anything. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Hassan Reddick situation, and is it a symptom of what Joe Douglas, maybe is lacking?
I don't necessarily. I don't agree with Sam's comment, because I think that him pivoting to Hassan Reddick was actually a good contingency plan for Bryce Huff. Now, I still am of the belief that the Jets should have just retained Bryce Huff, and that was the better option. They should have taken care of this a year ago. But after you already lose him, that's out the window. And then the pivot to Reddick, I thought, was wise. I think you just have to get this part figured out now of how you get him in here. And again, I am willing to, if I'm Joe Douglas, I'm willing to concede and change the contract for this year, or even tack on the additional. Where I don't want to get into is giving out a 3 or 4 year deal, $75-100 million, whatever it is. I think to again combat Sam's point a little bit. I think last year you could 100% make the case that he struggled with contingency plans. This year, I mean, he went out and got Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses to play tackle. Both guys were injured last year, and his contingency plan wasn't relying on Max Mitchell and Carter Warren like it was last year. Instead, he used the first-round pick on 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐿. So he's not running it back with Zach Wilson as a backup quarterback. His contingency plan for Aaron Rodgers is Tyrod Taylor, who's one of the better backups in football. So I think he has already gotten better at contingency plans.
Daniel comes in. Daniel says, welcome back, fellas. Who takes the biggest step forward in development this year? Green Bean touched on it earlier, and it's our first-round pick from last year, especially if Hassan Reddick is not taking part in training camp. That just means extra reps for Will McDonald. We got to see a huge leap in training camp from Jermaine Johnson. I expect, or hope to expect, to see something similar from Will McDonald this year. So that'll be my leap prediction. Matt, what about you?
For Will McDonald this year?
Who takes the biggest leap forward in development? It doesn't have to be Will McDonald. It could be any other player.
Okay, sorry. I heard the second half of that. I was reading the comments. I got lost in the comments there. I'm gonna go. Can I go Tony Adams? Maybe he's gonna be an underrated guy on the back end, because I think he's an afterthought on this defense. I'm not saying that he's gonna be a star, but maybe he turns into a quality starter, which right now I don't think he is. I think he's probably under, not average, just a little bit below average, a below average starter, but I think he could jump up and be a good starter for this team.
Green Bean, what about you? Any player that kind of speaks to you, thinks they might take a big step forward in development this year?
Kenny Yeboah, Jamie Sherwood. Hey, did you know I saw a stat like the missed tackle rate for all, the linebackers who had like 10 tackles or more? Jamie Sherwood had like 46 tackles and 0 missed tackles. 0.
I would love to see him take a leap forward. Imagine having him and Quincy locked in for the foreseeable future. We got CJ here for this year, and then hopefully next year. All things work out.
You know what, though? I think I like the Will McDonald thing. I'm really looking. I think Will McDonald, he's just not getting any love, and whatever the reason, it's fine. But I do believe that he's poised to make an impact. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to be weird to say this, but if Aaron Rodgers plays all year, as good as he's been, I think Garrett Wilson is the guy who's going to make the biggest leap on this team. I think that we're looking at somebody who has managed 2 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons with quite literally hot garbage at the quarterback position. He's open so many more times than he's been getting the ball. When he gets the ball, he's got to make acrobatic stop and jump type catches where, somebody can hit him in stride. We don't know what the hell's waiting So I think, Garrett Wilson could be looking at a 1,500-yard season with, double-digit touchdown kind of a thing. It's cliche-esque because he's been, we haven't had a 2 consecutive 1,000-yard receiver in a long time. But I think he stands to have one of the biggest jumps this season if Aaron Rodgers stays on the field.
Ron Weiss coming in. Thank you so much for another super chat, dude. He says, I love all the season ticket holders, but Cindy and I were on 2 different phones trying to get camp tickets, and 12 minutes they were sold out. Beef stew for everybody, LOL. Ron, we love you. I was at work, literally had 4 tabs open. I have 2 monitors, and I did it split windows for each one. So I had the countdown timer on everything. The weekday tickets, I was in and was like 350th in line. And the weekend tickets, I think I was like 800 or 900th in line, and I never had a shot at the weekend tickets. Richie was kind enough to give me a ticket for this upcoming Saturday, so I'll be at that training camp. But Ron, we'd love to see you win one of these tickets. Love to have you go. We met Ron last year at training camp. Good dude. Ron and Cindy.
I miss the days. Can I go old man yells at cloud for a second? I miss the days I miss the days at Hofstra where you could just show up and you didn't have to get tickets.
It's so weird. I feel like it was a lot. Well, it was a lot easier before Rodgers got here. You pretty much could guarantee yourself that you were going to get some kind of ticket. Now it's just gone immediately. I emailed our ticket rep. I was like, hey, so any chance you got some training camp tickets? She's like, nah, sorry, tapped out. I was like, cool, thanks. Great.
Understand.
Come on. Hook a brother up. Crossfire drops in, says, this is for Green Bean. Biggest step forward in 2024 New York Jets is going to be Denzel Mims.
That's cold.
Crossfire. Look, I'm going to tell you something. So you guys know I was a stand-up comedian for over 10 years, right? And one of the things about being a comedian is it's not only what to say, it's when the joke is over. Okay? That's key. I've been teaching my kids that all the time. They get a laugh and they want to do it again. They want to keep going. And I've been coaching my kids. Leave it there. It was a good laugh. It's good. You move on. You don't ruin the laugh. Crossfire, my good friend. The joke has been over for 2 years. We need it. We need it to end, buddy.
Nope. We still got the freeze bean logo as an emoji, and you don't freeze bean anymore. So Denzel Mims here to stay.
So that's the new freeze bean, Denzel Mims.
No, you're not the freeze bean, but you haven't been a freeze bean in a while. I love the freeze bean. I love the Denzel Mims.
I know it's good. I'm gonna open some more tabs.
The stream is crashing. No. Let's see. I saw David in here. David's asking, what's our cap situation looking like right now? I think something like 10 million guaranteed up to 17 million for a 1-year prove-it deal would be nice for Reddick. Just not sure if it fits the cap. So according to Over the Cap, the Jets have $5.7 million in salary cap space. I believe that is accounting for 𝐒𝐿𝐼 𝐒𝐿𝐼's contract. He's accounted for in there. So 2024, we have just under $6 million in salary cap space. 2025, we have $58.8 million in salary cap space. That is not assuming the salary cap increases from its current threshold, I think. Because it says our team salary cap is 260 million right now, and it's projecting next year to be 260 million. So I think we could have more if the cap increases, if I'm reading this correctly. Now, the issue with that is we have a lot of free agents next year. So that 58 million is going to go by real quick. Aaron Rodgers would have to get his contract reworked, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he's got some kind of signing bonus that'll have to work out. So that's going to eat into part of it, although I'd imagine we'd push those cap hits off into the future as best we can. We've got Morgan Moses up on a contract, Chuck Clark, Michael Carter II, Solomon Thomas, Ashton Davis, Tony Adams, Brandon Eccles, Sherwood. Who else we got? Yeboah might break the bank for him. I think that's it as far as like expiring contracts. Sorry. But contracts that are going to be up as well, they're voiding out. DJ Reed, Hassan Reddick, Tyler Conklin, Tyron Smith, 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐞𝐚𝐫𝐲, Mike Williams, Wes Schweitzer. Like, Jets are going to be in a world of hurt when all this stuff starts coming down. So actually, you know what? I'm going to play let's cut all the people that are going to be voided out just to see what our cap space looks like, because I think that does change once we account for that. No, it doesn't change anything right now. Okay, so we got $58 million, and we're basically going to have, it says 64 players under contract, but a lot of those are going to be like bare bones, like under $1 million per contract, and not so much the top guys, and you're going to have to fill in some key positions there. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Jets' salary cap situation?
Yeah, it's something that you're going to have to keep a close eye on when you look at who's due for new contracts very soon. That 22 class that we all know and love is going to need to get paid, which is why, again, like, you have to make those tough decisions with Hassan Reddick right now, or, DJ Reed or Tyler Conklin. Like, you might want to give those guys second contracts with the Jets, but you just might not be able to. At this point, down the line. So Jets, as I said, Jets and Joe Douglas have some tough decisions to make, but this is it. They're pushing their chips to the table for 2024, and they're trying to make it work.
Greenby, what are your thoughts on the Jets salary cap situation moving forward? $6 million, a little under $6 million this year, about $58 million next year, with a lot of players to sign.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about next year. I just want to win some damn football games, man. David, I'm not poo-pooing the comment per se, but like, the salary cap is always figured out. I'm not really all that concerned. We have a whole season of football to play. And I happen to be excited about it. I'm confident about our chances this year. And I'm going to enjoy that. I mean, who knows? We win the Super Bowl. I mean, let me ask you this, just theoretically. If we were told by somebody with future knowledge, you can win the Super Bowl this year, but the salary, cap, you got to lose some players next year. And would you do it? I'd do it. You know what I mean?
That's
give
the
me
gamble.
one.
That's it. You don't know, right? Like, that's the whole bit of it all.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. I don't really give a shit, honestly. We got lots and lots of young guys that are, under contract. I know guys like the Garretts and Sauces are going to be coming up. But I think we're going to be fine, man. And but look, not for nothing. That's why you don't go ahead and give Reddick $25 million. That's a big reason why.
AVT's up for a contract after this year.
Yeah, AVT needs to fucking make it through a whole season before he says anything.
Oh, no, I completely understand. But it's definitely like, it's a crazy situation. Now, to Greenbean's point, the salary cap, who gives a shit? The Saints have been like wildly over the salary cap for years now, and they always find a way to get under. So like, you can always push money into future years. And the nice thing about the Jets right now, Sauce, Garrett, Brees, Jermaine, young studs that you want on this team for the foreseeable future, you can push money off, because $10 million this year is not $10 million next year because of how the salary cap increases. So those contracts become less of a financial burden as the future years kind of roll on. So you're going to be able to do a lot of stuff with maneuverability here. Crossfire comes in with a 5 spot, says, sorry, Greenbean, I had to just one last time. Haha.
We'll see.
With the super chats and had nothing to really contribute.
It's going to be 2050. We'll still be doing this, and Crossfire is going to send Green Bean a message about that.
Say, sorry, buddy. Last time.
Like,
promise.
There'll be a new guy.
We'll be streaming to some like wild platform called something crazy. And then they'll be like, what do you mean? What's this 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐞𝐚𝐫𝐲 character? Who is this? Some obscure player from our past that the OGs are going to remember.
Yeah.
Boys and girls,
Yeah.
if you have not done so already, hit that like button. For every 25 likes we get on this video, we're going to pick a qualifier for our t-shirt, jersey, mug, hat, pillow giveaway at the end of the stream. And if you're able to go to either the July 25th training camp or the July 30th training camp, put an emoji of a ticket with whichever date you can go to. We're going to be raffling off tickets at the end of the show. We got 3 pairs of tickets. Plus, what did Curly say? Are we doing anything with his tickets, or did he find people to give them to?
It's 2. We're getting two from him.
Okay, so we're going to be giving away 4 pairs of tickets to Jets training camp coming up, and we want you guys to be able to go represent the Talkin' Jets panel. Tell a friend to subscribe to the channel and watch us hang out with us. It would go quite a long way. Crossfire drops in again, says, don't tell Greenbean that I wanted him to be pleasantly surprised. Don't tell Greenbean that I wanted him to be pleasantly surprised. Greenbean, I'm not supposed to tell you that you're supposed to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, with what? What am I pleasantly surprised with? I'm in.
Denzel Mims, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe he's just trying to stack the deck. That's what it is. $5.
Is that what he's
doing?
All right.
Yeah, I got don't tell Greenbean that. I wanted him to be pleasantly surprised, I think.
All right. We're going to have to get some new merch that Crossfire can win. He winds up like, I think him and Blitz Crew. I'm surprised Blitz isn't in here right now. Or at least I haven't seen the name pop up. But those guys have won a bunch of times. Sam comes in with super chat. Thank you so much. Says, which player do you see us re-signing during the season to lower future cap hits? Ooh. Conklin. That'll be my guess. I think DJ Reed is going to wind up walking. We'll get a compensation pick for him. I think the same thing with Hassan Reddick. Kinlaw's an interesting one. I don't think we re-signed Kinlaw. I think Mike Williams is probably gone. Conklin's going to be my guess. And I think it's going to be a 1-year extension, and it'll align himself with the Rodgers window. But I really want to see Michael Carter II. I would love to see that happen. That's where you're going, Matt. Matt, talk to me.
I was going to say Michael Carter II. Now, I don't know. He's still on his rookie deal, so it's not going to be a lower future cap hit. Like, he's going to get a raise, but it's not going to be this astronomical number because I believe the highest paid slot corner is $10 million. So you're looking at probably around $10 to $11 million a year AAV for Michael Carter, and he's earned it. He deserves it.
Greenby, what about you? A player that you could see us re-signing in season to lower a future cap hit, or who do you see us bringing back on a contract in the season before we get to the offseason?
I think Conklin is a prime candidate for that. I think he's underrated, undervalued. Again, he had 60 something catches last year, and just like with Garrett Wilson, with complete garbage at quarterback. Now, some of that stuff was the dump off. When the quarterback couldn't see past 5 yards, he would just dump it. So some of those catches were garbagey, and we know that. But I think Conklin is a much better tight end than we've been able to see, in my opinion. And I think midway through the year, if you can lock him up for a couple more, I think that they're going to want to do that. I think he's prime candidate for something like that.
Nick in the chat. What up, Nick? Says, welcome back, fellas. Looking forward to enjoying ring season with all of you.
Yeah.
Nick, are you planning to propose, or are you just talking about our Super Bowl rings that we're going to be wearing? That's what I'm talking about. Sorry. I'm all fired up. If you guys have not subscribed to Proud NY Jet Fan, make sure you go do that. Matt's going to have one soon. I got this one for free. We got Becca's wedding band, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you the tungsten ring for free. Just don't have it on when your hand goes through like something crazy, because they can't cut it off. You got to lose the finger. Nuts.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I missed that. They can't cut the
tungsten. They can't cut it. So like your finger's coming off to remove the ring if something were to happen. And then they'd have to just sew your finger back on.
With that, You live with that thought for the rest of your
So
life?
I have that, and I also have a silicone band, but I do wear this one a lot because I learned how to pop bottles open with it. You can't do that with a gold ring. And how often am I doing something where my finger's honestly going to get ripped off? Probably not too frequently,
Yeah,
so
like-
popping a bottle is pretty important.
What can happen that you can't? I mean, that you can't take the ring off and need to take the ring off. I mean, how small of a collection of instances is that?
Ryan's going to be cutting the grass one day.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to stick my hand under the lawnmower and just... I'm just going to have like confetti flopping around. Terrifying.
No, turn the mower off, dude. Turn it
I always
off.
do. I never have the blade on. And I got the zero turn, so when I stand up, the seat automatically kicks the blade off.
There you go. My
See?
Husqvarna does that. It annoys the shit out of me. I'm leaning over to pull something, it shuts off.
Yep.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. If you go up too steep of the hill and you kind of lean back a little bit, sometimes that'll kick off. Mine's been.
Here's what I want to tell those organizations. I'll maintain my own safety. I don't need your seat to make me safe. I'll be safe. You know what I mean? I hate this shit. I hate everything. All these fucking safety mechanisms and all these signs. Beware, it's sharp. Like
don't drink the bleach.
Yeah, don't drink bleach. It's terrible for your insides. Coffee, hot. Be careful. Hot coffee. It's like, fucking leave me alone. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Fucking ridiculous.
Just weed out the dum-dums. That's what it is.
Our guy, Proud NYJ, just said right back, I can attest it's not fun losing a digit. Miss you, big toe. So, you know.
Yeah, but was it because of a tungsten ankle bracelet that you had on? Is that what it was, Nick?
That's what I believe that's what I believe it to be. That's my reality now.
I'm a very risk-averse person. If there was like, I would say no, thank you. I'm all set on the. Give me I'll take a rubber one from Amazon.
The silicone bands are nice. The only thing I would say that's like slightly annoying with those is when I put my hand behind a pillow to try and like scoop up behind like Becca's head to like cuddle. It like rolls up your finger and like gets stuck, but it's not bad. I lost one already, so when you lose a ring, it's not like terrible. You're like, I get a new one now. My wife's like, "Why, seriously? Like we spent this much money on your wedding band, and now you're just buying $10 ones on Amazon?" Yes. Yep. Yes. That's exactly what's happening.
I like that.
It's all right. Bearded V tier says, if the Adams to Jets trade happens just before the season, as some have predicted, what does our cap space? What does it do to our cap space, and who do you think gets cut? So I don't think anyone gets cut. I think they've been waiting on Conklin to restructure him. I do think he's going to come back next year, and I think it's going to push some cap hit down this year to give him money next year, and they'll figure it all out. I don't think anyone is going to get cut. I think it'll just be restructuring existing deals. Now, if we were to trade for Adams before the season, you would have to have him rework his contract because he's on a 1 year, about $17 million deal, if memory serves correct. And that money is for this season. Now, after 2025 and 2026, it goes up to like a $36 million cap hit and a $35 million cap hit or whatever. He'll never see those years. So that's why he's going to get cut by the Raiders after the season if he's not traded during the season. So what's more likely to happen is either he gets traded at the deadline to the Jets, which is when we'll have like a 1 year, $7, $8, $9 million deal, or before he gets traded, could be before the season, could be at the trade deadline. He reworks his contract to keep those cap hits lower, and then those cap hits will escalate in 2025, 2026, whenever it winds up being. So that way we could align ourselves with this 2-year window with Rodgers. It's the same thing we did. Not necessarily the same thing, but we've aligned a lot of contracts. Zerline, Morstead, forgive me, John Simpson, like a bunch of guys are all on these 2-year contracts and windows. CJ Mosley restructured his deal. So the Jets are locking and loading for 2 seasons. That's really what's going to happen. I think you'll see Adams work his cap deal into that. Matt, anything extra you want to add on to the Davante Adams talk here from Bearded?
Nope. I would like him on this team, though. I have nothing else to add, but I would like him here.
Yeah.
Creepy, anything for you on Davante Adams? Any fresh thoughts?
Fresh. Let's see. What hasn't been? What angle hasn't been explored?
I'm shocked we haven't really seen any like rumblings of him going to like the Saints to play with his buddy Carr. That's the one team I'm a little surprised hasn't popped up.
Yeah,
I guess
well,
it's
I
not
don't
so much a
think-
Super Bowl window though.
Oh, you know
Yeah,
what I
and-
brought up with Davante Adams? I don't know if you guys realize this, but he used to play with Aaron Rodgers on the Packers. So that's the connection for why he might want to come to the Jets.
Oh,
Derek Carr, he
interesting.
played with him on the Raiders and in college. That's the other connection that I was just saying I was surprised didn't pop up.
Significant disparity in the success
That is correct.
in the
That's
NFL.
correct.
So
Crossfire
There's that.
drops in and says, just another super chat, just to get 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 another super chat. So what's interesting is he probably copy and pasted that, but then also felt the need to put a period after that fourth go around of, or maybe fifth go around of just needs a super chat. Crossfire, it's greatly appreciated. You're funding the show and the giveaway. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Which leads me to believe that he wrote that manually.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
He puts in a lot of work.
Yeah, he
Doing
does.
Matt's electrical.
He's not afraid of hard work, Crossfire.
See, he's gonna hide. Crossfire's got this like secret timer that he was telling me about on your camera plug, Matt, and it's just gonna click off in about 2 seconds.
He could shut my whole electric would go off. With it. He had some very inner working knowledge of see the irony here is over the how many years that Crossfire has been supporting our show, he probably funded his own work when he was here.
The down payment for Matt's house,
Yeah.
it was courtesy of Crossfire. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. The Wedge comes in and says, Ryan, the Raiders hate the Jets. They won't trade with us, and we hate the Raiders. F the Raiders. Is that like true? Is that like a thing? Is that like known that we don't like the Raiders or they don't like us? Apparently, we almost worked out a trade with McDaniels, which would have sent Adams over our way. But I don't know why he would have had any, like why it would have been better with him at the helm. You guys know anything about the Jets and Raiders relationships?
No, I think Joe Douglas has traded with the Patriots, Giants, and Dolphins. So I don't know if the Raiders' hatred compares with any of that. I don't think Joe Douglas thinks like that. If there's an opportunity, I don't think he holds like it's not. I don't think he's governed by feelings like a McCagnon. McCagnon was like feelings. You know, I don't like it.
Now,
Yeah,
my
it's very
question
much
is,
let's take
do
care
we-
of our own. Oh, sorry, Matt.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump you. I was going to say, I wonder if the Wedge's hate for the Raiders stems from the early 2000s losses to them in the playoffs back-to-back years.
I hated the Raiders for a long time there.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like we always just seemed to play them in Oakland, and we always seemed to lose. Just stinks.
Last time they came to us, though, remember they were supposed to beat us up, and the stadium was like 80-20 Raiders fans, and we beat the shit out of them.
I was. Oh, you know
there
what?
you
That
go.
was the last win I saw before the Jets Bills game. I did see that one. That was the Binghamton alumni game that they did. Big group buy for that. Shout out Bearcats. Peter says Crossfire just spending all the money Matt gave him.
Pretty much.
Hype comes in with 5 spots, says it was the old GM from the Raiders that got fired who did not like Salah. We are good now. Was it? I mean, maybe the rumors about us almost having a trade with. Oh no, McDaniels wasn't the GM. That was the. It was the Patriots guy. What the hell was his name? Dweeby looking dude.
Jim.
Sure, we'll call him Jim. That sounds good. Crossfire. I bought Matt his house, green bean, something expensive, and Ryan got nothing. Thanks,
Well,
Crossfire. That's
Ryan
actually
got-
how we divvy up our super chats. It's like, Matt gets a house. Green Bean got a house. Green Bean was riding around in the trailer the RV for a long time while we were doing
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Crossfire
Green-
bought it.
Yeah.
Crossfire, you helped fund the new custom sign back there. Bam! 1 of 1. Thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated.
I think it's beautiful.
Let's see. I'm going to go through the chat, see what we're missing. Anthony D, how much is it per day for Reddick missing camp? It's $50,000 fine per day.
Could you imagine?
Unsure.
Like, you know what? I'm comfortable just lighting $50,000 on fire for not going.
That's nuts. That's essentially what the Jets did with Roger Saffold last year. $250,000. It's fine. Just stay home. Stay on your couch. We don't even know if he showed up to the Jets facility.
I don't know. I don't think there's one.
Hollow Moon, sure. Roger Saffold. One of those is real.
Can anyone find a picture of Roger Saffold in anything Jets related? I'm not even talking about like, in uniform, suited up, because we know he didn't suit up. But like, I'm talking
gym shorts.
At the facility in a Jets sweatshirt, something. I don't think you can find it online.
I think he's false. I think that's what it is. There's going to be like, they're going to do a story about this in the future, and they're going to be like, this is one of the X-Files, Project Blue Book or something. He's really like an alien. He was never actually here. He's a figment of our imagination. Roger Saffold does not exist. Jameson.
Although, funny enough, I type in Roger Saffold New York Jets. This won't. And I clicked on the first image, and it's your video on the Jets signing.
That's great.
No footage of him though. That's the thing. No footage, no pictures, no nothing. It's just a story. Little lie put out into the ether. Don't worry, the Jets signed a lineman. Lies. Jameson says, thoughts on Hassan Reddick? I'm kind of mad. So we went through that a little bit just to recap some of our thoughts. Look, Joe Douglas made a trade for a player that he knew was disgruntled about his contract, and we gave him more leverage by trading away John Franklin Myers, and now we are in a situation where we definitely need him on the field, and we're just playing a little game of cat and mouse as far as, is he going to continue to hold out into the season, or is he going to wind up showing up for games, or does he have like a soft holdout? Like maybe he has, I think that's what it's called, a soft holdout, where it's like, oh, my helmet's too tight, I can't get on the field, or I have migraines or something. Like he could pull some type of shady stuff where he shows up to the facility but doesn't actually play. That would be like the worst case scenario. But he's in a contract year, and what team is going to want to pay him that much money if he pulls that crap? So I'm frustrated about it. I wouldn't say I'm mad about it. Green Bean, could you like give me a consensus feeling that you have on this topic?
But I think the way you just said it is very important to consider. This is his contract year. And, how he acts and holds himself is going to be, a main factor in what he's able to, collect in the future. Now, I know what he's doing. There's no guarantee that next year exists for him. So he's trying to get everything now. I understand it. But I think, they had an agreement and all that shit. So he should just honor it. I'm slightly frustrated. I would prefer it wasn't happening. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I don't see a world where he's not going to play. So I'm not worried about it. And the 50 becomes 100, becomes 150, becomes 200. That shit happens fast. And the truth is that training camp isn't even really started yet, really. So let's fucking calm down, everybody. We're a very intense batch, and we're ready to kind of, fall to pieces, and we're mad about Egypt, and we don't like so many things, it's like, I think we just need to calm down. It's all going to be fine. He's going to play. And the good news, the best news is that if he doesn't, we happen to have a first round pick with a year of experience on deck. So I feel pretty good. If Hassan Reddick wants to play games, he can suck a lemon.
Speaking of Egypt, do you think Aaron Rodgers saw the watermarks, the water erosion at the bottom of the Sphinx? Younger Dryas, all this sort of stuff. The Sphinx is older. Green Bean and I go down rabbit holes.
Yeah, I mean, I know almost too much. I mean, if we ever want to do that, like just have it, and go like what he's doing there and all that kind of shit, like I know far too much about it.
This whole hat is lined with tinfoil, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Oh no.
Hype comes in, says Saleh got the old GM from the Raiders fired from the 49ers. I did not know that.
Who was that?
Wasn't it the Patriots GM? Isn't that why McDaniels got over there? Or am I thinking of I might be thinking of the Texans. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. I'm totally off base on that. Boys and girls, we have reached the end of our stream. So we got to go around, pick some qualifiers. Boys and girls, if we get 10 more likes on this video, Green Bean's picking another qualifier for our giveaway. Ten more likes. Come on. 9 more likes. You can do it. Make it happen.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, you.
Oh, 4 more.
Sons of a guns. Is it happening? I can't see.
We're close. Keith comes in. Keith says, is it smart to start Rodgers week 1 versus that 49ers defense? I'm sorry, I don't know how to get it on stream right this second, so I'm just going to read it out loud to you. Yeah, look, you got to start Rodgers.
Yeah.
You got to. Can't not start Rodgers during the final, first game. Monday Night Football. Start Tyrod Taylor. Get out of here, Keith. Get out of here. Crossfire says, I win. Don't bother anyone else. Crossfire dropping another 2 spot for the super chats. Nick coming in again. Woody won't allow him to miss any game time. It's all in this season. No need to panic in July. Remember when Tippmann was a bust this time last year. Not to mention every other draft pick that we had the whole Sauce isn't number 1 on the depth chart. Brees is number 3 on the depth chart. Like every
Sauce
year
is wearing oven mitts. Why is he wearing oven mitts? He must suck. Remember? That's such a great point, Nick. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is last year Tippmann was bust. Never even did a damn thing on the field. Bust. So we're nuts. We have to know we're nuts. If you want to have fun being nuts, that's fine. But nothing means anything. We haven't even started. Nothing fucking happened yet. Nothing.
Anthony D in the comment section going, Ryan, are you finally going to ante up and give away an actual Jet jersey? We've almost had it land on the jersey, but we're giving away it would be a $150 jersey, which is not cheap to do. So it's got to be a little tiny sliver. I mean, alternatively, we could have some fun with this and do some 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐿 gate and you're not getting a real one, but some of them look all right. We'll talk about that.
You may or may not be getting a China jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's a legit one, but maybe we'll play around with what we're gonna do, because that would actually be kind of fun. I was talking to a few guys. They're like, yeah, they were able to find some military camo jerseys and some crazy stuff that you can't normally get in the U.S. So maybe we'll have some fun. We'll see. All right, let's do our training camp tickets first. So Matt, how many tickets do we totally have? I know we have at least 2 pairs for the 25th. Is it 2 pairs for the 30th as well? Is that what Curly gave us? He gave us the 1 pair and then we have the other 2.
Curly gave us tickets to July 30th. 2 tickets.
Okay, so we have 2 pairs of tickets for the 25th and 2 pairs of tickets for the 30th. Matt, how many people are in the raffle for the 25th?
4.
4. Okay, you have them numbered on your screen, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Can you mix up the numbers so that way they're not in chronological order? Because I'm going to ask the chat to give me a number. First number 1 through 4, that's who gets the first pair of tickets. And the second number will get the second pair of tickets. That's how we're going to do this.
Okay.
So let's see who it is. There's a 3. Oh, man, everyone's throwing a 3 in there. Man, we haven't even gotten a 1, 2, or 4 yet. Got a bunch of different numbers. 1. Okay, 3 and 1, Matt.
Okay, number 3 and number 1 for the 25th, right?
Yes, correct. This is for the 25th training camp.
Jose Jose Oliveros or Oliveros.
Yeah,
And
Olivero. Yeah.
yeah, there we go. And Hector Cabrera.
Ooh,
Nice.
boys, reach out to me, jetstalk247@gmail.com or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. You'll find the email in the description of this video. Get in touch with me so that way we could send those tickets to you ASAP. You got to accept them too. Matt, how many people do we have for the training camp on the 30th, the one that you and Richie are going to be attending?
Also 4, but they're different.
Also
people.
4. All right, after Anthony D's number 3, we're going to pick 2 numbers that are between 1 and 4. There's a 3 from Greg, the gag, and a 4 from Just Cut Core. So 3 and 4 are numbers.
Okay. So Marvelous and Ron Weiss.
Yeah! Ron Weiss, and Marvelous, and Hector, and I don't remember who the 4th name was.
Jose.
You guys reach out to us, talkinjetshow@gmail.com or jetstalk247@gmail.com. Send us an email. That way we can get those tickets to you as well. And then Green Bean, we've got our baggage claim giveaway that we're doing. So Green Bean, how many people are in the giveaway for tonight?
47.
47 people in the giveaway tonight. And someone is going to pick a number 1 through 47 in the chat. Let's see what we get. Green Bean randomizes all these, so it's going to be something crazy. 27, Crossfire throws in the number. First one to it. Who is it?
The Juice Main.
Ooh, the Juice Main.
The Juice Man.
Gonna get something. Reach out to us, jetstalk247@gmail.com or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. Let's see what you get. Jersey. It's a shirt.
All right.
Juice Main.
It's good.
You get a shirt. We got a few good shirts. We got Yak King over on the store. If you guys want to check out some of the merch that we have, talkinjets.com. Got a whole bunch of stuff over there. You can get your tickets for our group buy as well. We have just a few tickets left. If you want to get in on it, we're going down on the field following the game, and we're going to have our tailgate with Tailgate Joe. So if you want to hang out with us, you can get tailgate only tickets if you already are a season ticket holder and you just want to come out and hang out with us. Head over, talkinjets.com. Still got some tickets there. Boys and girls, let's go around our panel, give our closing thoughts. Green Bean, any last words for our panel?
Well, it's good to be back. I'm having some sort of weird allergy attack, so I apologize. We are going to be doing our the first Thursday thick of it of this year on Thursday night. Gunny will be back the following week, but we are adding Dom C to the regular rotation, regular co-host. So we'll be a hosting trifecta kind of a thing this year. So myself, Dom C, and Gunny will be doing the Thursday thick of it. First time is this week, guys. So I am excited to get the whole thing rolling again. It's good to be back, and I'm excited. So Thursday night, come hang.
Jose drops in, who won our tickets. He says, "Thank you, fellas. Much appreciated. Make sure you reach out to jetstalk247 or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. We'll get you those tickets for training camp." Matt, any last words for our panel?
That helmet looks so good.
I want to run through a brick wall.
You look like the Mandalorian.
Oh, thank you. I'm tickled pink.
I am so excited for training camp tomorrow. I can't wait to just sit and refresh Twitter and like do my training camp stats to be like Aaron Rodgers is 6 for 7 with how many yards passing and how many touchdowns. It's the best. We are all the way back, baby. Football is back. Let's go.
Crossfire with a little rigged at the end there. Crossfire, you sent in a super chat and you said rigged, but you didn't use the rigged emoji. So I'm disappointed. You can make up for it next week. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. Talking Jets is back. We're going to bring back the other shows starting. I don't know if it's next week or the week after. I got to talk to the guys, but be on the lookout for that. We'll be back here next week, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, Talking Jets. JETS.
Jets. Go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the pound. Screw green bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it is that people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head! No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze frame.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.